Greetings, everyone, from a rain-soaked Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It is the USL Championship tonight, presented by Rhode Island Energy, the official energy services partner of RIFC, as Rhode Island welcomes Louisville City to town tonight. Alongside the legend Gary Bailey and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques, happy to have you with us here tonight at Centerville Bank Stadium. Big one for both teams, particularly for Rhode Island, who are sitting beneath the playoff line as things stand at the moment. They're hoping to back up that battery win last time out with another big win tonight to try to get into the top 8. With a win for Louisville this evening, they would clinch a top 4 finish already, even at the beginning of September. And of course, Gary, the last time these two teams met was back on June 11th, and Louisville finally got the better of Rhode Island.
They really have struggled against Rhode Island. There's a nice early goal from McFadden that got them 1-0 up. But you've got to give Rhode Island credit. They're a gritty side. In fact, when they met in the playoffs, they won 3-0 on this ground. Two of them scored by J.J. Williams, not available in this match. Own goal off Adams, a little bit unlucky, but good pressure from Rhode Island. And in the end, a winner by Ray Serrano. And 2-1 victory. I think it's going to be a very, very close one today as well.
And J.J. Williams, as you mentioned, was not available at that time for Rhode Island. He is very much available tonight and continues to make a big impact when he's in there.
Beautiful goal he scored against Charleston last match. Fantastic. Had a rose above the goalkeeper. He's a beast. He's physically powerful. He gets on the end of crosses. He's someone that Louisville City are going to have to watch very carefully.
And once again, you look at the other side of the coin, Louisville are in the midst of another wonderful season. They went through the entire month of August unbeaten. They have just one loss in the regular season all year. They just keep trucking along.
They keep scoring from everywhere. Philip Goodrum might be their top goal scorer, but we saw Kevin Lambert getting one. Sam Diedel just setting up Goodrum there. Ray Serrano scored a ton. They have Jansen Wilson scoring. They have a whole bunch of players who can chip in when needed.
And we talked about it earlier, but Philip Goodrum, who's been wonderful so far this season, is not going to be available tonight for Danny Cruz. But when their depth is tested, Louisville, the next man up is going to be Jansen Wilson, who's also been excellent this season. 6
goals and 4 assists. That's a fabulous contribution to the team. Top scorer on the team for tonight. So they'll be looking to him to try and break down what's been a very resolute Rhode Island team, especially on their home turf.
Louisville's first trip to Pawtucket, they hope to make it a memorable one and grab 3 more points that would clinch a top 4 finish at the bare minimum. Rhode Island need all the points they can get in the playoff push in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. We'll have the kickoff from Pawtucket coming up next.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Welcome back, everybody. The first half of tonight's match is brought to you by First Class Marble and Granite as we count you down to kickoff here between Rhode Island and Louisville City. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Let's dive into the Bally Bet starting 11s. We begin with Cano Smith and Rhode Island.
There's two changes to the team that beat Charleston. Aldair Sanchez returns back from suspension. Joja Kwazira not available, international duty with Rwanda. And Zach Harivo replaces Matty Corcoran, who's with the US U20s in that 4-3 shape up front.
On the other side of the coin for Danny Cruz and the Players' Shield chasing Louisville, here's their 11.
They've made 4 changes to the side that beat Indy. Sean Tosh comes in for Arturo Ordonez, not available. Amadou Dia comes in for the 16-year-old. Brandon Days is on the bench. Evan Davila for Kevin Lambert, who's on international duty with Jamaica. And Adrian Perez, first start since June 11th, replacing the injured Philip Goodrum.
Milestones, by the way, all over the pitch as far as league and regular season appearances are concerned, and certainly the prior battles between Rhode Island and Louisville have already been quite memorable. This one could very well enter that pantheon here tonight. Louisville are in their road whites with, of course, the purple trim, and Rhode Island, of course, their home navy blues with the yellow gold numerals on the back. Rhode Island really need this one tonight, particularly when you look at that Eastern Conference table we showed you a moment ago, just sitting behind that number 8 spot at the moment. And Louisville have already clinched, of course, a playoff spot after they beat Indy and Lipa FC last week. A win tonight for Danny Cruz's side, and they would clinch at the bare minimum a top 4 finish in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. But of course, Danny Cruz and these players have their sights set on the Players' Shield, and they could, at the bare minimum, keep their distance between Charleston with a win tonight. And right off the bat here, Aldair Sanchez and Aiden McFadden have collided here, and both are being assessed for early head injuries.
Let's have a look at it again. Both of them just going for the ball. In fact, they didn't even win the ball. They hit at each other, which is I'm not laughing at them, just laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. They didn't get to the ball, but it just shows you the commitment. And that was one of the thoughts I had, you know, with Rhode Island knocking Lou City out of the playoffs last year and going on to the finals. Brilliant season. A little bit of revenge perhaps in the air, and who knows, these two teams could meet in the playoffs. Lou City top, if Rhode Island came in 8th. So I just think there's a little bit of extra spice in this one, and you've seen the commitment right from the off.
And Rhode Island trying to build off the confidence that they gained with a huge 1-0 win here against Charleston last time out. As we look at our keys to the game, presented by Flood Ford, starting with Rhode Island.
Having a look at that, Connor Smith just saying to us, limit service into the box. And for Lou City, they want to control J.J. Williams. From Danny Cruz's point of view, he said in transition, set pieces, we've got to stop him getting on the end of the ball. So they've both got certain points of view for, again, for Connor Smith just saying limit service. He just says this Lou City team are relentless. They just keep coming at you. We can't allow them, you know, to put too many balls in our box and cause us problems. So let's see how both those keys play out in the next 90 minutes or so.
Of course, as Louisville know, controlling and limiting J.J. Williams can be quite the task. Charleston found that out the hard way last week, or were reintroduced to that, I should say, last week. Of course, Rhode Island also knocked Charleston out of the playoffs a year ago. Jansen Wilson briefly getting on the end of that. It's swept away to Koke Vegas, who's making his 100th regular season appearance in the USL Championship tonight. Ibarra directing traffic here for Cano Smith's Rhode Island. Flares it out to the far side where Clay Holstead retrieves. And looks for J.J. Williams over the top. And Williams barrels into the back of Josh Jones. That's going to be a heck of a battle between those two tonight, and it's a Lou City free kick. Rhode Island is proud to welcome MyRI TV as a broadcast partner in 2025. RIFC fans can watch live action regionally on Nesson, locally on MyRI, and stream on ESPN+. Don't miss any of the action this season.
Just looking at this from a Rhode Island point of view, probably not a bad time to play Lou City. No Philip Goodrum, no Kevin Lambert, no Arturo Donya's on the bench, no Sam Gleedle available. There's a number of players who would normally be either playing or certainly being able to impact off the bench. And having just beaten Charleston Battery, second in the USL, they'll be thinking, well, no reason why we can't knock off the #1, which, as we mentioned, they managed to do twice last season.
One of the interesting Rhode Island stats in the early, well, just over a year now, right? Close to 2 years of the club's history. They have faced Louisville and Charleston back-to-back on 2 prior occasions, and Rhode Island were unbeaten in those 4 games, facing arguably the 2 top teams of these last few years in the USL Championship. It's happening again here. Battery was a win last time out. Can they beat Louisville or at least get something off them again here tonight?
I think for me, one of the questions, if they are going to do something, is where do the goals come from? JJ Williams has 3, not a lot, but definitely if he gets service, he can hurt them. And if you look at Maxi Rodriguez, he's got 3. The other 8 outfield players starting tonight have 3 between them. So there's only 9 goals on the pitch as such. It's not a lot. And yes, they're good defensively. They're hard to break down, especially at home. I think it's 4 clean sheets in a row. Now the Koke Vegas is back, but I'm looking saying, well, who's going to step up and score? Will it be the same Maxi Rodriguez, JJ Williams, or maybe, you know, Shapiro Thompson gets one, or maybe Marky Barrio or Zach Harivo from midfield? I think that's what Connor Smith is hoping might happen here today.
Tonight's health report is brought to you by Ortho Rhode Island, the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. Connor Smith did tell us earlier in the week that Frank Nodarse is close, but not good enough health-wise to play tonight. Albert Dequa, though, and Rio Hope Gunn there is a bit of a concern. Quizera and Corcoran are both away on international duty, and Philip Goodrum is out for Louisville, as we mentioned earlier, for this game tonight.
Kevin Lambert also away on international duty for the visitors, Lou City.
Yeah, Jamaica looked rather good the other night in World Cup qualifying.
I believe so. You were doing that game, were you?
Doing one of the other ones, yeah. But
keeping an eye on it.
I was, yeah. I'm sure Connor Smith wasn't too thrilled. It was a 4-0 Jamaica win over his beloved Bermuda in the World Cup qualifiers, but I'm sure Kevin Lambert was thrilled with that.
Connor Smith, very, very focused on the games. When we chatted to him a few days ago, one game at a time. We said, what about last year? My team's picking you up because you got to the finals. He said, we don't even talk about last year. It's gone. Not interested. It's the next game and the next game only. That's our entire focus, which is commonly heard amongst coaches, but he was just very adamant that that's how he and his team see it.
RIFC would like to recognize their anchor partners, Breeze Airways, Capelli Sport, Centerville Bank, and Ortho Rhode Island for their support on and off the field this season. Here is Amos Shapiro Thompson leading Rhode Island forward here. Lays it off. Holstead trying to feed it through. Bit of an awkward touch there from Evan Davila, but eventually Louisville do get it clear.
But that cross from Clay Holstead doesn't quite connect it, puts his hand up there to say sorry. But I do think the wing-backs for Rhode Island, Clay Holstead one side, Aldair Sanchez the other, play a crucial role. They have to stop, obviously, the attacks from Lou City, where they are very strong out wide. And then they've got to get down the line and get in crosses for JJ Williams, who they know is so good in the air. So a lot being asked of the 2 wing-backs for Rhode Island here tonight.
Was that a high boot? Yes, the referee says it was. It's going to be a Rhode Island free kick. Benjamin Meyer is our head official tonight. Maxi Rodriguez to Karifa Yao, and now Hugo Bacharach on this near side. Ame Mabika. Rodriguez down the line. Holstead just keeps it in play. You mentioned it earlier, Gary. Club record 4 straight home clean sheets for Rhode Island. It's now 367 minutes and counting that they have conceded a goal here at home. The last team to score here was Hartford in that thriller of a Jägermeister Cup group stage finale that finished tied at 2.
And ever since Koke Vegas came back, so Koke being a crucial cog in the wheel. Not that Jackson Lee didn't do well when he stepped in, but Koke Vegas for me is one of the top goalkeepers. In fact, was the first signing, wasn't he, for Rhode Island?
You're right.
When they started. So clearly they thought he was crucial to build the team around, and having come back and got 4 home clean sheets in a row since his return, I think he's pretty much proving that point.
It was in the team of the week, the USL Championship this past week after getting another clean sheet against that high-powered attack, Charleston Battery, who were limited to a season-low 5 shots in that game against Rhode Island last time out. This is where Cano Smith thinks Louisville can be dangerous. These kind of moments, set pieces, getting crosses in, and Dia looks to find McFadden here, but right on cue, Koke Vegas swoops in for Rhode Island.
The idea is good, but the cross has got too much time on it. You float across like that, any goalkeeper is going to come out and clutch it. For me, you have to whip those crosses in, not allow Koke Vegas to come out of his goal, or make it difficult anyway for him to read it.
What a ball that was onto this near side. Sanchez into the middle looking for Williams. Touched away by Adams. Oh, and then it's volleyed. It ends up being well wide in the end. It was certainly struck well, but the accuracy lacking in the end.
We just spoke about the wingbacks for Rhode Island doing their business, and Aldair Sanchez on that left-hand side, getting that ball in there, right into the middle to J.J. Williams. That's their target man. If they keep doing that from left and Claire Holstead from the right, it's going to be a busy afternoon for some of those Lou City defenders.
A couple of Louisville's defenders are making milestone appearances tonight. It's Amadou Dia's 200th regular season appearance in his remarkable career, and Niall McCabe's making his 230th league appearance. And how about a league record? Sean Tosh is making his 250th regular season appearance. That's never been done in the league's history.
Fantastic players. Any player that can put together those sort of numbers is brilliant. But Sean Tosh in particular, great servant to the club, and banged in a bunch of goals in that time, some of them from the penalty spot, but even last week there was a lovely flick on against Indy.
I would say Sean Tosh has tucked in his shirt quite a few times in his remarkable Louisville career. His signature celebration.
By the way, that the goal was it the third? Was the third one against Indy? The flick on from Josh Jones. Josh Jones creating 2 goals there. One of them was thrown short to McCabe, and he knocked it in for Kevin Lambert to score. And Josh Jones has been part and parcel of scoring 2 goals against Miami. Goodrum there managed to get in the end of both those throws. And even if you go further back, I think it was Loudoun United was responsible, if not the direct responsibility, the assist, certainly part of it, was his long throw. So that's something that we'll keep an eye out here, and something that Rhode Island will be tested on at some stage, that Josh Jones throw-in.
Well, this time Aiden McFadden is chopped down by Mark Ibarra, and that's going to be a Louisville free kick. Getting
up nice and close to him, I think he sort of misses the ball. Most of it, Mark Ibarra takes out the opponent instead. Just wonder if he could have just waited rather than flying in, just get up close and then hold it, but he didn't. He sort of lashed out with both feet, and if you don't get the ball straight away, then every chance there'll be a free kick given against you.
Niall McCabe, who got his 30th assist last time out against Indy, became the 2nd Louisville player to reach that mark with 1 club, and the 8th to do it in the league's history. Gives way for Taylor Davila. It's right in the mix. It's Williams with the header away. And Sanchez looks to let Rhode Island break here. Holstead up ahead for Harivo, who was not anticipating it. And Evan Davila is able to snuff it out.
A miscommunication there between them. Harivo, for me, has got to be looking over his shoulder to see where the ball is. He was totally oblivious, just running. I think, you know, as a player, when you're going to run into space, you've got to be watching. You don't know when that ball is coming in.
tune in September 10th, the Jägermeister Cup semifinals. 38 clubs down to the Final Four. Rhode Island are in that Final Four. They take on Sac Republic, 7 p.m. Eastern at home. And how about League One's Greenville Triumph? They'll take on Hartford Athletic at 7:30 p.m. That's all going to be on ESPN Plus on September 10th. Could get, by the way, another El Clamico if Hartford and Rhode Island go through. But of course, the incredible Greenville story has been a sight to behold. And Neil Collins and Sac Republic, we know their history in knockout competitions. It's going to be two incredible knockout semifinals.
Confusion over who's going to throw the ball in here, and of course the rain's still dribbling down. You can see everybody with raincoats or whatever they need to keep the water off them, but the players not so fortunate, and that's going to impact the skip of the ball off the ground. For goalkeepers, very important that you read that properly. Even the handing can get a little bit slippy in terms of holding onto the ball, but for players themselves, twisting and turning, measuring the ball and how it's going to fly off the turf, these are all things they have to factor in on a wet day.
Adrian Perez with a good take. Helped along by Evan Davila. Dia on the byline. His cross is deflected off of Holstead, and it's out for a Louisville corner. Don't miss out on any of the wicked good soccer this season at Centerville Bank Stadium. Single game tickets for the rest of the season are still available now, so secure your seats today. There is the Irishman, Niall McCabe.
I got an assist last week from the Josh Jones throw, and we were talking about, threw it to him, he turned, whipped it in, Kevin Lambert flicked it on, and that put them up 2-1 against Indy 11.
Danny Cruz, we asked him about him, he said invaluable was the word he used to describe Niall McCabe. And Niall McCabe appears he will not be able to provide this service in. I think there might have been a coming together away from the play here.
There's a bit of pushing and shoving. The referee blew his whistle, so it'll be retaken. But arms around big Josh Jones there. That's borderline penalty, so one's got to be very careful. Rhode Island defending.
And Perez possibly bumped into Vegas there as well. And now McCabe will get his chance. Fizzes it in there. It's McFadden's header. Just about kept in play, I think accidentally by Holstead, but Rhode Island do clear it. Sanchez trying to track down Dia, who goes all the way back to Danny Fondes.
I think that little corner situation just shows that how tough physically this is going to be between these two teams. The pushing and shoving and players holding on to each other and getting in front of the goalkeeper. Twice the referee warned them, and he'll be keeping a close eye on that, but you've got to have eyes in the back of your head if you're a referee when all the players start getting at it. So look forward to a few more little skirmishes here tonight.
There is Taylor Davila quickly picking the ball up there. 3 goals and 8 assists for him this season. He's just fit this Louisville system like a glove since coming over a few years ago from the now defunct RGV. McFadden scores! Whoa! What about it? Aiden McFadden finds a way through. And inside of 18 minutes, Louisville lead.
Wow, that is an amazing strike. Now, did he mean it or not? I got a sense he was trying to cross that in with power, but we talked about crosses a few minutes ago. You can't float them in, you got to whip them in. The other advantage of doing that is they can turn into an actual shot on goal. Let's have a look at it here. Only he knows if he meant this, but I'm assuming he didn't. He just found an angle, whipped it in, was aiming in that box and trying to get somebody on the end of it. In the end, it flies right in that top corner. It's a brilliant strike, especially if he meant it. We won't know until after the game, I guess.
I'll remember, Aiden McFadden scored against Rhode Island when the teams last met earlier this summer. And McFadden as well. His first 17 games this season, he only had 3 goal involvements. He has now 5 in the last 6 Louisville games, and he's put Lou City ahead on the road.
We were chatting earlier and thinking who's going to score the goals in place of Philip Goodrum. Well, he's put his hand up straight away. Again, not 100% sure he meant it, but if he did, that is some strike. I was just wondering, you know, where the goals would come from, because Adrian Perez, this is his first start since way back in May or June, June 11th. So, you know, he's not really super fit, and he's not a natural striker. He's more of a 10. And Jansen Wilson also sort of plays behind strikers. So it's almost like they're playing with a false 9 at times. But I don't mind where the goals come from, as long as they score them.
That's going to be a foul and another Lou City free kick. The New England laborers are training the workforce of today that'll build our tomorrow. State-of-the-art training facilities across Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. They'll be equipped with the classroom and job site knowledge to start a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built the stadium at Tidewater, your home of RIFC. We were saying it right at the beginning of the broadcast. Louisville always have that next man up mentality. And Aiden McFadden has Lou City off to the races here. Another ball into the middle here that Vegas is just about able to get his paws on.
Good goalkeeping from Koke Vegas. It is so difficult there because you often push them out into traffic. He was able to stop it and quickly jump on the loose ball before any Lou City player could get there. And that's the first goal he's conceded then in what this is his 5th home match since he returned.
By the way, that McFadden goal, of course, ends the 4-game stretch at home of clean sheets, like you said, Gary. That was getting close to 400 minutes there before McFadden buried that chance.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame Koke Vegas. I don't think there's any goalkeeper in the world that saves that. I mean, it's hit hard. It comes in quickly. As a keeper, you may be a yard or two off your line anticipating a cross, and that thing just flies over your head into the top corner.
I should mention this as well. Rhode Island in the USL Championship have had 22 straight regular season games unbeaten when they have scored the first goal. When they haven't, it's been quite the mixed bag, and particularly this season, Rhode Island have struggled at times to come from behind. They'll have to do that tonight. Throw in from Holstead is cleared away by Kyle Adams, who will have to head it away a second time. Was that a high boot there? Referee says play on. It's Ibarra. Gets it back here. Slipping it through for Harivo. And then one back by Adrian Perez, who is caught up too, but it'll stay with Lou City. Getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's free game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between Pawtucket Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. For a full list of stops, go to ripta.com/RIFC.
Amazing thing about this Lou City team, they lost 4 away games. They've won all 4. They've scored 12 and conceded 4. Who does that on the road? I mean, if you do that at home, it's a fantastic record. But as we've said, there's something so special about this team. But without Philip Goodrum, it will sort of put some pressure on them to say, well, who's going to be our goal scorer? Will Sam Diedel be fit enough to come back? Can Cam Lancaster do a final little role for the club? When will Philip Goodrum be back? These are all questions that just bring a little bit of uncertainty into the Lou City lineup before the players, but up until now they have just been absolutely masterful.
Sanchez was the target there. It rolls out for a goal kick. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DNA, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. New Mexico United takes on Detroit City. That's Wednesday, September 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's on 2DNA. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. We've been keeping an eye on Detroit tonight. They're playing Orange County at the moment, and they're 3-1 up, Danny Dichio's side. They desperately need those points as well.
They do in this tough Eastern Conference. Mind you, Orange County are also fighting for their lives in the West. So, in fact, every game this weekend has massive consequences in terms of reaching the playoffs or not. So, incredible season in the USL.
And we'll get to other games around the league in a moment. This was a good tussle here between Wilson and Yao.
Yeah, there's the big boys at the back. Yao, Mabika, Baccarat. I don't think you're going to get much joy against them from the physical side.
Hold up play there from Williams. Played out wide for Holstead. Williams continued his run, but it's blocked out for a Rhode Island corner by Amadou Dia. And it's a set piece chance here for RIFC. Of course, corners this season are powered by Chick-fil-A Attleboro. Remember, if RIFC scores from a corner at home this season, you can show your match ticket at the Chick-fil-A Attleboro location and get a free chicken sandwich. Fun fact that it hasn't happened yet this season, Gary. Not at home.
Not.
A corner, not yet. Still awaiting those free Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Come on then, get one in the back of the net.
Could this be the moment? We will see. It is certainly fizzed in there. It's flicked onto the near side of the 18. Ibarra looks to recycle it. Decent ball back in, is headed right at Fondes, who makes the stop.
Good cross, good header. The big man there, Mabike, just gets on the end of it and directs, so just can't get it wide of the goalkeeper. Has to swing his head at it and straight to Danny Fondes. We haven't mentioned him. He's had a couple of good games. Damien Last not available, and Danny Fondes, in fact, making a very good save last couple of minutes against Indy 11, and he's impressed in the few games that he's played this season.
Wanted to mention as well, one of the other games we're keeping a close eye on tonight is Charleston taking on Indy. That game matters for both of these teams because Charleston, of course, is still trying to track down Louisville for that Players' Shield title. And Indy is directly ahead of Rhode Island right now for that 8th and final playoff spot in the East. Checking at the moment, Charleston have the lead by 1-0. We'll be keeping an eye on that game as well as the night moves along. And like you rightly said, Gary, it's one of our favorite times of the year, but particularly this year with everything so tight in the East and the West. We are going to be in for such an incredible run-in down the stretch.
That's brilliant. I don't think I can remember a season in the last 5 or 6 that's been this close.
Harivo trying to find his way through. Fondes is able to collect.
And seasons gone by, there were also those sort of 2 teams that would feed up to the MLS, so they normally bowed out at this stage, and teams that more or less know they were in the playoffs. Now, there's going to be some teams, some very, very good teams, I might add, who will be at the bottom. Right now, Miami FC's at the bottom, and they've got the top goal scorer, the Golden Boot leader, Bonfiglio. And, you know, they're not a bad side. They must look at the bottom of the table and think, how the hell are we there? But they're there because there's so many other good teams around them.
No question. Little layoff there from Harivo, and it's played down the line, but in the end, Jones and company can reshuffle things for Louisville. Fourth goal of the season for Aiden McFadden as Lou City ahead.
And as a wingback, Aiden McFadden, 4 goals and 4 assists. I mean, how good is that? We mentioned Jensen Wilson as well, 6 goals and 4 assists.
And was Wilson brought down there? Referee says no. Wilson still asking the question of our center official. It's out for a Louisville throw as Wilson is back up onto his feet.
I think Sanchez does get the ball, just debating how much of the player he got as well, but up to the referee to make that call. Here comes one of these long throws. Get ready, Rhode Island.
These have worked a treat for Louisville this season, to say the least. Jones does play this one short. Evan Davila tries to swing through. He'll settle for a corner. If you're looking for help on how to pay for college, look no further than RISLA. Been helping students and families for decades. Visit risla.com to find out more.
Just surprised there with Josh Jones. Given how much damage his long throw does, why even bother to throw it short? But anyway, maybe he thought there was lots of space there to exploit.
It will be Taylor Davila to deliver the corner for Louisville as the tussle continues between Yao and Jones. Opposite numbers there. Davila's delivery towards the edge of the area. Shapiro Thompson away. Amadou Dia tried to wind up and had his shot deflected. Holstead looks to lead the Rhode Island break here. There are some numbers off to his left, but Clay Holstead trying to feed Sanchez and could not get the shot away. May have slipped at the vital moment. It was a wonderful Holstead break, but Sanchez couldn't get his feet set.
Wow, what a chance coming from those two wingbacks. We said would play an important role here today. Fantastic run from Clay Holstead, and Alder Sanchez all set up to score a goal for Rhode Island that would have brought them level. And as you say, probably just slipped. We talked about the wet weather. It's not easy to keep your balance, and if you stretch and overstretch, you can lose balance very easily.
Advantage played here. Sanchez into the middle. Jones with the header. Deflected towards Maxi Rodriguez. Rodriguez surveys the scene. Out wide for Holstead. Holstead's delivery past everyone and out of play.
That's a problem for Rhode Island. They're the least economical in front of goals out, I think, of all the USL teams. They create a lot of chances. This one, great run from Clay Holstead. Look at Alder Sanchez bomb up that left-hand side. Leaves Taylor Davila for dead. It just loses his footing as he's striking the ball. That is so unlucky. He just had to come back. He had to just check his run by a little bit, and that was where the slip came from. Wow, that would have been a fantastic goal for Rhode Island.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice as the whistle goes there. A little bit of a shake of the head there from Mark Ibarra, who did receive a yellow card for that challenge. Originally it was Williams in there. Oh, and that's the reason why. It was a bit tardy from Mark Ibarra, and he does receive a booking for that. That is the first yellow card of the night for either side. And quickly, Louisville get the ball back into play. Jones onto this near side for Toch. Again, incredibly, making a 250th regular season appearance tonight. Dia and Perez, a lovely little 1-2 on this far side for Louisville. It's clipped into the middle, looking for Evan Davila, who gets on the end of it to keep it alive. Toch for McFadden. Taylor Davila for Evan Davila, who shot to flex out of play. And it will be a Louisville corner after another lovely bit of interplay and build-up from Louisville City. Mighty Squirrels thrilled to support RIFC with tap rooms in Waltham, Boston, right next to Fenway Park, Arsenal Gardens in Watertown, and more. Raise a glass of cloud candy to the soccer team and many mighty moments ahead. Davila's delivery is headed clear, and it will be shepherded out of play by McCabe for a Lou City throw, and he will let Jones come over and do his thing. This is where Josh Jones and Louisville have had so much success throughout the season from these long throw moments. Jones bluffs at it there. Now puts in the long throw, and it comes up short. Williams cleans it up. And it's out for another Louisville throw, and Jones will get a second try at it on this near side. Or maybe not. Toch instead. He's going to take over throw-in duties here.
That is a surprise, isn't it? Well, let's see what he can do.
His throw-in goes to the byline and is a bit wasteful in the end. But even as good as Louisville are from those, even they can have a few falters.
And of course, so much damage when Josh Jones has launched those balls into the box. Maybe there's some reason why he didn't want to there.
Perez. Toch tried to find McFadden, who kept on running. Rhode trying to play it for Sanchez here. His clearance goes into the middle of the park. Rodriguez and company just about able to keep it away from Louisville. Sanchez trying to go over the top, and Louisville have it covered with Amadou Dia. Rodriguez for Ibarra. Holstead from Mabika. Taking down on 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half with Louisville in front. That's a miscued touch from Yao, but he recovers. Fine Vegas. Williams. An acrobatic pass from Rodriguez is cut out. And it could open up here for Perez on this near side, but Bacharach swipes at it and gets it off of Perez just before he was able to move it towards the byline.
Well, the Spaniard there with those long, rangy legs, just timing that perfect. I thought Adrian Perez was through there. Maybe just lacking a yard because he's been out for such a long time. You can't blame him for that. It'll take him a while to work his way back to full fitness.
It does lead to another Louisville corner. Taylor Davila will deliver. Evan Davila on the spin. Trying to dig out a cross. It was deflected. Adams with an acrobatic attempt. And Koke Vegas will keep the ball in play for Rhode Island and outlet it. Trying to find Sanchez and does so. What a brilliant ball that was. Sanchez waiting for help on this near side. Gets the help from Rodriguez. Cutting in field, Ibarra. Shapiro Thompson for Holstead. Ibarra again. Trying to thread it through for Mabika, who goes down. Referee says no foul, no penalty, but the assistant referee, it appears, has given Rhode Island a corner on the far side, which of course are brought to you by Chick-fil-A Attleboro.
Mabika there, just thinking that maybe the connection after the ball had been kicked would earn him a penalty, but not so. Contact had been made already by Amadou Dia on the ball. A chance to put some more pressure on. Connor Smith saying, and he's having a chat. I thought maybe he was arguing with the referee, saying, the fourth referee saying, you know, there was contact, but it was only after the ball had been kicked out for a throw-in.
Aldair Sanchez to provide the service here. Towards Bacharach, who got his head to it. Ends up putting his hands on his head as it goes agonizingly wide for Rhode Island.
Once again, to the point we made earlier, there's been a number of chances created by Rhode Island, and they are the lowest in the entire league for converting them, just 9%. They're getting good positions, no doubt about that. They just somehow just can't find the back of the net.
Well, RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero never tasted so good. Have to try it to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of RIFC. to your point, Gary, coupled with that is a league low 16 goals scored. I don't think many people had that for Rhode Island, particularly at the start of the season.
Yeah, lowest goal scorers in the entire USL. Look, they're one of the best defenses, third best in the East behind Lou City and Pittsburgh. So that's their strong point, but you've got to score goals as well, and they really have struggled this season. As you mentioned, 3 from JJ Williams, 3 from Maxi Rodriguez, and 3 from the other 8 starters here tonight. That's not a lot of goals. That's 9. Philip Goodrum scored more than that on his own for Lou City.
Louisville are tied for the most coming into the weekend with 45, of course, with Charleston. And Louisville have only conceded 18 goals this season. That's the second fewest in the league. And to be fair to Rhode Island, they've only conceded 23. That's the 4th fewest. Those goals certainly pale in comparison to Louisville's.
Yeah, that's the difference between these two teams. Lou City score a ton, don't concede many. Rhode Island don't score a lot, but don't concede many. Well, if you're not scoring, what are you going to do? Keep drawing 0-0, hoping to win 1-0. It's a very difficult way to go through the normal season. Now, get to playoffs, that's a different story. Maybe a 0-0 gets you to gets you a penalty shootout, or maybe you manage to sneak a goal at the very, very end. That might be a way, and was possibly last year for Rhode Island, a way of toughing your way through some of these very difficult playoff matches.
McCabe for the goal scorer McFadden. Taylor Davila. And then back for Kyle Adams. Davila clipping it over the top. Mabika gets his head to it. Ibarra able to keep it away from Evan Davila, who fouls him and gives Rhode Island a free kick. Time and space here for Hugo Bacharach. Sanchez for Harivo. Mabika for Karifa Yao. Sanchez had the gap closed on him, with Harivo trying to make the run. Now Harivo's on it, thanks to Rodriguez's support. And then Harivo's double covered. Rodriguez keeps it alive for Sanchez. Harivo knifes it through for Rodriguez. Clever touch through Davila. And then did Rodriguez follow through there? Referee didn't make a decision on that. And Fondes ends up with the ball in the end.
I thought that was a foul on Josh Jones there. Rodriguez has gone straight through him after Jones had cleared the ball. But referee says play on, and Jones is not complaining. Let's have a look at it again. Very tight there, isn't it? You've got players around you. That's a little bit of skill there from Maxi Rodriguez there. The slide and the foot was up as well. Whew, that's definitely a free kick. It's borderline yellow card. But anyway, referee can't see everything. It's we get the advantage of replays and different camera angles. He gets one look at it, does Benjamin Mayer, and he's got to make a quick decision.
Rodriguez moving Rhode Island through here. Plays a wonderful ball into the path of Clay Holstead, who has it blocked by Dia, out for a throw. Throw-in is taken quickly to Mabika. And a full reset to Yao. And Vegas.
Shoot.
Of course, with the former San Diego Loyal side, they were used to Koke Vegas going quite high up the pitch then. Not the first time he's done that, the Spaniard. Here's Rodriguez. Put some swaz on that. Gets it out to the far side. Holstead looking for Williams. Oh, and Bacharach was also not able to get ahead onto that. And Perez clears for Louisville. And Sanchez hustles back to keep Rhode Island in possession after another close call.
Wow, what a great movement that was. The crossfield pass was absolutely brilliant. The ball in from Clay Holstead was great. You see J.J. Williams climb, very similar to the way he climbed last week against Charleston Battery. He runs and gets up early and just hangs in the air. And the ball just went over his head.
Rodriguez. And a minute and a half plus stoppage time left in the first half. Sanchez pulls down this near side, and it's going to deflect off of Sanchez out for a Louisville throw. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek is your ticket to great seats. Speaking of that, have to credit the Rhode Island supporters who have toughed through the tough weather here. Again, we had about an hour weather delay. And boy, these diehard supporters have toughed it out to see their RIFC battle Louisville here tonight.
It's a hard-working blue-collar part of the world, so they...
No doubt.
They can handle this.
There they are.
Yeah. Must be soaking wet and cold, but great support.
Ibarra. Harivo just tried to shovel it out. It's tight quarters again here for Rhode Island. Bacharach switches the point of the attack as we enter 2 added minutes at the end of the half here in Pawtucket. Played back for Mabika. Yao towards the halfway line. Bacharach. Some space here for Mabika. And then it's given away to Louisville. Wilson waiting for some support. Taylor Davila trying to thread the needle here, but it's cut out. Then played down the line for Perez, but Koke Vegas is going to be able to handle that. As a result of Hurricane Aaron, Cabo Verde has undergone some of the worst flooding and destruction in its history. Pawtucket is home to one of the largest Cape Verdean communities in the country. It's important that we're on the forefront of helping neighbors, families, and friends rebuild after the devastating natural disaster. Please consider joining RIFC and donating to the cause to send supplies and much-needed relief in partnership with CACD Cabo Verde. And scan the QR code on the screen now to get involved. This will be Fondez to bring this forward for Lou City. And he overshoots everybody and allows Rhode Island to maybe get one last sliver of it at the end of the half.
Hasn't done much, has he, Danny Fondez? Well, put it this way, he hasn't had to do much. Been more of a spectator in this game. Whereas on the other side, well, it's been the odd thing for Koke Vegas to do. One of them has picked the ball out the back of the net for a goal that he could never have saved. Brilliant goal. Been 1 or 2 chances where Danny Fondez probably thought he was going to have to come up with the save, but the shot never coming in, and Alder Sanchez's opportunity, probably the biggest chance in that first half for Rhode Island.
Which comes to a close here. There's your goal scorer, Aiden McFadden, his 4th in this USL Championship season, has Louisville ahead. As you rightly said, Gary, there's been some chances here for Rhode Island, particularly through Holstead and Aldair Sanchez. Still a very big second 45 upcoming.
Oh, massive 45 still to come. Rhode Island have to keep pushing. They're a very good side. They've just beaten Charleston Battery. You can expect Connor Smith to have them getting stuck in physically, mentally, and really making it a massive second half for Rhode Island. 3 points here tonight, if they can get it, would be a huge boost for the home side.
The plot thickens in this one between Rhode Island and Louisville. Lou City trying to do the double over Rhode Island in the regular season, but Connor Smith's side have had more promising moments in these first 45 minutes. We'll see if they can get over the hump in the second half. We will take a break. We'll have plenty coming up from around the league, including scores from elsewhere and much more, as it is halftime in Pawtucket with Louisville on top.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Welcome back, everyone. It is halftime between Louisville and Rhode Island. Danny Cruz's men are ahead by an Aiden McFadden goal to nil. We'll have the second 45 coming up in just a few moments in this big Eastern Conference tilt in the USL Championship. Well, these fans are the winners of the seriously nice seat upgrade. It's courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. And Breeze Airways is a proud partner of Rhode Island FC. We'll let the halftime festivities commence here in Rhode Island with a big second 45 minutes coming up. But first, let's take a look at the USL Academy setup and all of its development and positivity.
No one said it would be easy, but the USL Academy to professional pathway is blazing a successful trail. More than 10 players on USL rosters are Academy products with professional contracts. A big deal and a big decision. Why? The pathway includes options. For many prospects, that's college soccer. Finn Sundstrom plays for North Carolina FC on an Academy contract. He now has valuable pro experience, but remains an amateur player. A different path is played out in Phoenix. 17-year-old Jamison Ping, a Phoenix Rising Academy member since age 12, was signed to a professional contract. This is now his career. Andy Chapman from Phoenix Rising FC joins us now. And Andy, Jamison Ping is very special to you because you've seen his process really from beginning to its current state. So what is it like to see something come to fruition through the academy process?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely been exciting for seeing someone be given the opportunity, someone that's been on the fields with them for the last 5 years. I've gone through the whole process.
This entire landscape, big picture, coaches that are in your shoes on other clubs, all of you guys kind of in the same boat making this work?
Yeah, Liz, I think USL got a unique opportunity, and I think everyone's kind of using it to their advantage here in should really push your players from a youth standpoint into that pro environment, and it's definitely a step up, but it's not for everybody. It's an endless opportunity for us to continue to grow.
USL clubs use their academies. Nearly 100 players have achieved academy contracts, opening doors for youth players to achieve their dreams of turning professional.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Strikes with the right and opens the scoring. A dream start for the home side. Wow, what a strike from Westchester, and it's Prince Sadie.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
And Rhode Island are into a major semifinal. It's Hartford the lead. Greenville is on the semifinals. Sacramento is heading to the semifinals.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centreville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at the half. It is kids' night here in Rhode Island, and there's about 100 of them out there trying to take on some of the Rhode Island pros, I'm putting in quotes here. The kids are having their way at the moment here at Centreville Bank Stadium. So is Louisville, as they're leading the big boys, Rhode Island, by 1-0. Chance to look around the rest of the USL and the USL Championship through news and notes. And we were talking about this earlier, all the international call-ups, not just from the USL Championship, but USL League One during World Cup qualifying matches, particularly in CONCACAF during this international break, Gary. There's plenty of teams that have seen players shipped off for that.
Yeah, and in both the teams we have here today, there's players missing on international duty. It just shows you the quality of players who are now coming to play in the USL and even in USL League One.
You see that second bullet point there. Charleston with a win tonight would clinch a playoff berth alongside Louisville. They're still leading Indy by 1-0 as it stands right now. And Finn Sundstrom, remember the name, that's all we'll say with that. Other live scores from around the USL as it stands right now. Detroit still leading 3-1 over Danny Stone's Orange County. We mentioned Charleston, they're 1-0 up. Neil Collins and Sac Republic, they're 1-0 up. And then a couple of 0-0s between Hartford and Miami, Tulsa and Birmingham.
Huge games. Miami must win. Tampa Bay must win. Birmingham Legion must win. These are some massive night of football in the USL.
Another big one there too later on. El Paso and Loudoun. Both of those teams trying to secure playoff spots down the stretch as well. And it doesn't get any easier for Rhode Island. A very tough schedule coming up. That first one's that Jägermeister Cup semifinal against Sac Republic. And then next weekend, Rhode Island welcome Indy. Of course, that could be a big 6-pointer right around the playoff line before Cano Smith's side go to Miami and El Paso. Then to begin October, they will take on now the Devin Rensing-led Las Vegas Lights, who are hoping to turn a corner at the end of the season. Remember, the Lights were in the Western Conference Final a year ago. We'll see if they can get back to the playoffs in 2025. And Louisville, who are trying to close in on a Players' Shield crown, they go to Highmark next week to take on Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Then they'll play the Vegas Lights after that. Then an always entertaining fixture with Louisville going to Detroit to finish up September. Lipa FC rematch in Louisville on October 4th before Miami comes to town as we get closer to the final few games there of the regular season in the USL Championship. Who knows, by the time we get to October, Louisville could be closing in on that Players' Shield crown for a second time in the club's history. They're 1-0 up here in Pawtucket over Rhode Island, but Cano Smith's side certainly will have a chance to turn things around in the second half. We'll take a break. Highlights and stats are coming up next.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
Sean and Gary back here with you. We dive into the first half highlights between Rhode Island and Louisville, and we begin with Aiden McFadden on the attack.
Is it a cross? Is it a shot? He's going to say it's a shot, and what a shot it is, right in the top corner. Koke Vega's got no chance because he's hammered this. In fact, you look, it has to be a shot because if it was coming too fast when he wanted to head that in. Brilliant.
Rhode Island certainly had their chances in this first half and just weren't able to find the back of the net.
Ball gets knocked in here and the header comes in, but unfortunately straight at Danny Fernandez really doesn't test him that much. And there was this breakaway here, Clay Holstead, absolutely brilliant here.
Really did well to set this up, but Sanchez just couldn't get his feet right at the end.
Look at him running in on the left-hand side. He's made up a ton of ground. He just has to slow down a touch for that ball, and as he slows down and applies the brakes, he slips and misses a shot altogether. But a great opportunity once again for Rhode Island, and you can see one shot on target each. I just managed to get hold of the expected goals, 0.27 for the home side, just 0.08 for Lou City. So they haven't offered much, but you know what? They always seem to score goals, whereas, as we said, Rhode Island create a lot and have the worst conversion record in the whole USL. So this could still swing a number of ways. Rhode Island have been in this game the whole time. They probably will feel they should be at least 1-1. Now they've got 45 minutes in which to prove it.
You saw there one shot on target and one goal for Louisville. They had 4 shots on target against Indy. Last time out, they scored 3 of those 4. So they continue, Louisville, to be efficient in the final third with their shots on target. And the second half is underway. No substitutions for either side. Rhode Island will be going from left to right at the start of the second half with Louisville leading by a 1-0 in their first ever trip to the new Centerville Bank Stadium here in Pawtucket. Sean St. Jacques, Manchester United legend, Gary Bailey, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. We will see what Rhode Island have in store for a recovery here in the second 45 minutes. A big game for both teams at either ends of the table in the East. Of course, Louisville's also on a stretch of 5 games. They've scored 3 or more goals in 4 of those last 5 games. They've outscored their opponents 15-5 in the last 5 regular season games. It's kind of a microcosm of what their season has been to this point. Just the one loss as well to North Carolina a few months back.
It's hard to see them scoring a ton of goals against Rhode Island. They're just so good defensively, so tight. It's about to say don't give silly balls away, and he plays that one there and nearly gets intercepted, but very hard to break down. But again, we've said this a number of times, that's not where the issue is for Rhode Island. It's can they create a chance like they did for J.J. Williams against Charleston Battery last week, like they did for Alder Sanchez in the first half. You know, beautiful ball in and give your attacking players a chance to try and find the back of the net.
Well, proudly outfitting RIFC, Capelli Sport is the global game changer for premium kits, gear, and innovation on and off the field. Sanchez trying to fit that through. Harivo for Rodriguez. Rhode Island in search of an early second half equalizer here. Rodriguez forced to slightly retreat. He'll switch the point of the attack over to Clay Holstead, who controls that beautifully. Holstead threads the needle here. Little layoff for Shapiro Thompson, who tries to fizz that across, but Kyle Adams is in the way, and Louisville clear. And on the follow-up, Louisville also have it covered.
Okay, that ball coming in from Shapiro Thompson. You're not going to get every ball in, but you've got to try and get a fair percentage in. It just felt like it was hit and hope. It was easily cleared by Kyle Adams at the near post. I'd like to see that quality of ball improve in terms of giving these strikers the chances that we asked for a few minutes ago. They have to help, in particular J.J. Williams, they have to help him out and give him service in which he can attack the ball.
Williams up ahead for Harivo, who does well to find Sanchez. Sanchez trying to fight his way towards the byline here. It pinballs around, and it's a Louisville throw. That time it was Toch defending his position well for Lou City and gets the visitors the ball back. Flicked on by McCabe. And Perez almost gave up on that, ends up committing a foul on Sanchez. That's a free kick for Rhode Island.
Just look at the body language of Lou City's second half. It's not sharp. They're slowing the game down, which I get, but this is Adrian Perez. He didn't know where the ball was, and there was slight contact there. But I'm just wondering whether Danny Cruz might be looking at his bench thinking, I'm going to give them 10 minutes and then maybe, you know, bring on a Ray Serrano or Brian Ownby or Jake Morris. He scored a couple of goals. Was it against Hartford? Oh, I can't think when it was, a few weeks back. He got 2 fantastic goals in the dying moments of a game.
Lexington.
Jaeger
Cup, yeah.
Yes, the Jaeger Cup.
Those were 2 fantastic
Weren't
goals.
they? Especially the second one was a golazo. So just wondering, you know, if Danny Cruz feels that the body language of Lou City is, you know what, we'll hold on to the 1-0. He won't settle for that. He'll bring on fresh legs and say, I need you to keep going forward.
Yeah, that was to complete an incredible comeback. Louisville were 1-0 down at Lexington in the dying embers of that final Jaeger Cup group stage match, and Jake Morris dragged them to a 2-1 win, although unfortunately from a Lou City perspective, they were still pipped to those playoff spots. That was one of the wild card bids that ended up going to Hartford. recovered a penalty shootout win here over Rhode Island to get that final spot. As if the drama in the league wasn't enough.
True. It's been a very good Jaeger Cup. It's been super exciting and efficient and quick. And you've got very quickly into the quarterfinals and moved on. It's been, I think it's really proven to be a big success.
It's been where arguably Rhode Island have shined the brightest this season. They've been fantastic in the Jaeger Cup. Picked up an impressive 1-0 win over Birmingham, thanks to Dwayne Atkinson, who's on the bench for Connor Smith's side tonight. That was a huge goal for them. And of course, we mentioned it earlier, Rhode Island will host Sac Republic in 4 days' time here. They'll try to get a spot in what would be another major final in just Rhode Island's second season. Rhode Island's 43rd Governor's Cup football game between Brown Bears and Rhode Island Rams will take place here at Centerville Bank Stadium this fall. Tickets are on sale now. Go to brownbears.com/GovCupTickets to get yours now.
Well, you're mentioning Dwayne Atkinson. That might be an option for Connor Smith if we have a look at Rhode Island. They're the team that are behind, so as much as Danny Cruz will want to keep his team on the front foot to some extent, Rhode Island have to get back in the game, and I'm sure at some point Connor Smith will look at his bench and go, Dwayne Atkinson's got pace. We saw him score on debut. Noah Fuson, who I thought was going to be a regular appearance maker for the Rhode Island, and he's been on the fringes a bit recently. He'll have a point to prove. So expect to see some subs from both sides in about 10 to 15 minutes time or earlier.
For all of your RIFC gear, visit Rhode Island FC's online team store. It's powered by Capelli. Shop.rhodeislandfc.com is the place to get all of your Rhode Island FC gear. This is Toch. Up ahead for Taylor Davila. McCabe tried to return the favor, but Ibarra steps in for Rhode Island. Oh, did Rodriguez handle that? Louisville were asking the questions of the referee there. Play continues. Holstead trying to feed it down the line for Shapiro, Thompson, and Fondes is there to clear.
I think Fondes is getting bored at the back there. Decided, you know what, I need to get involved in this game. Good goalkeeping, though, coming out and clearing the danger. Just don't know if it was necessary. There were enough defenders around, but I'm sure the goalkeeper's just desperate to stay in the game.
Well, Miller Lite is a proud sponsor of RIFC. When it's game time, it's Miller time. And it might be time for a second try at this throw-in for Clay Holstead here. He'll have to get the ball back on this near side. Just behind Clay Holstead and the fourth official is the Louisville head coach, Danny Cruz. We had a great talk with him earlier this week, and he said to us, he said to the other media members he talked with during the week that, you know, making the playoffs is great, but they really are not too focused on that. It's about trying to make sure that the entirety of the postseason runs through Louisville. They want another Players' Shield title, and then they want to get title number 3 that's been so elusive for Louisville over these now 6-7 years that have gone by since their last one.
Well, they certainly deserve it. I've got the sort of overseas European opinion. If you finish top of the league, you should be champions. And they have done that regularly and then been knocked out in the playoffs as they were by Rhode Island last year. And to his thought, he's trying to get them primed and ready. But losing Philip Goodrum, and again, we don't know how bad the injury is, how long he'll be out. But if it is going to be in the playoffs, then wow, that's a massive piece of a successful jigsaw puzzle that he will be without.
Sanchez will get this set piece ready for Rhode Island, in dire need of a response here. Maxi Rodriguez is also interested in this. and is going to take it for Rhode Island, but there's a foul before the ball even got down on the ground, and that'll be a Lou City free kick.
He seems to be talking to J.J. Williams, saying no more threes, but his 4 fingers up. Says you keep doing this. Hard to see. I mean, everyone's shoving everyone, but I think as a striker, you've got to be more careful, because the referee will give a free kick a lot easier and he'll give a penalty. Have a look. There's a little push in the back of Sean Tosh. You know, it's an unnecessary push, but it all comes from, you know, being so tightly together there in that middle of the box. But again, if you're the attacking team, don't give the referee a chance to blow against you.
Another foul and a free kick there. Well, one other game has gone final. Detroit City wins over Orange County. 4-1 is the final score. That's a huge win for Detroit City in the context of the Eastern Conference playoff chase. And Charleston also, we're keeping an eye on that game against Indy. It's still a tight game there. Battery just ahead at the moment, getting towards the final 15 minutes in the Low Country. Maven's Deli, of course, with their corned beef on rye, their kugels as well. They play to win with flavors that score every time. One other big scoreline in the East is Sacramento leading Tampa Bay by a 1-0. They're coming down on the final 15 minutes in the Sunshine State. That would be a big blow to Tampa Bay's playoff hopes if they can't get any points off of that game. Again, nothing fatal yet for anybody, but you start to run through the schedule, and we're starting to get to single-digit games left around the league.
What is there, 7 left after this game?
For most teams, yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah, well, it's not a lot left, and those can be difficult teams. They could be on the road, they could be in the West. You know, your home ground is where you've really got to pick up the points, and this will be a huge blow for Rhode Island here today. If they don't get 3 points, same for Tampa Bay at home to Sac Republic.
Wilson was the target over the top, and then Coque Vegas collects for Rhode Island. Well, there's no job too big with Norfolk Power Equipment, New England's premier Kubota dealer. Norfolk Power Equipment's a proud sponsor of RIFC. Come down today and get the job done with Norfolk Power. Well, Gary, we talked about it. It was one of your keys to the game, trying to limit J.J. Williams. And so far, I think Danny Cruz and Louisville will be relatively happy with that task, as tough as it is.
They certainly will be, but you've got to limit him for 90 minutes and plus any added time. He scored in the 69th minute against Charleston Battery. So, yeah, but to your point is a very good one, though. They have done a fantastic job so far. And to be fair, Rhode Island, the other key was Rhode Island must limit the number of balls in their box. As we say that.
Louisville are in the box here, trying to cut this back. And when the layoff is cut out by Amos Shapiro-Thompson. Kept alive by Taylor Davila, but Rhode Island cleared only as far as Jones. And then on the turn there, Ibarra, still not definitively cleared here. Perez to the byline. Sanchez is fouled by McFadden. Free kick.
Sanchez does well to win that foul, so to speak. He gets his body between Lou City player and the ball and just waits for a touch, goes down, and almost always you get that given to you. So good play at the back there by Alder Sanchez.
High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, and iced tea, no added sugars and natural flavors. High Noon is the perfect drink for any occasion.
Well, we were just talking a moment ago about the second key to the game there for Rhode Island. Their key was stopping Lou City getting lots of balls into the box, and I think they did a really good job. First half, they limited them to just 6 touches in their box. Mind you, Rhode Island only had 9, so it wasn't like they had a lot more, but they did and have so far limited them. The goal is just a golazo from you know, from a tight angle out wide, you just can't make plans for that sort of thing.
Touch out wide for the aforementioned McFadden. He's trying to find some space here for a cross and does dip one in, but it's too close to Vegas, who makes a comfortable catch.
Well, that's better from Aidan McFadden, just getting ball into the box. It might not have found its target this time, but you keep doing that and you might very well find someone on the end of that ball eventually. I haven't seen any movement anywhere near the bench, but I do get the sense that maybe for Rhode Island more than Lou City, that changes need to be made. But even Lou City, perhaps some fresh legs in midfield to do the donkey work, the closing down, the shutting down of Rhode Island. Normally coaches around about the 60-minute mark start looking to make changes.
Near side, Mabika for Holstead. Holstead bluffs, trying to switch the point of the attack, and then that little dink from Ibarra is cut out by Josh Jones. Let's see, bottom of your screen there briefly. Cano Smith is standing near a couple of his substitutes who, right on cue, Gary, are getting set to try and change the narrative here down the stretch, as J.J. Williams is not able to take the ball with him there.
Yeah, it seems to be the right time to do that. And especially as you're 1-0 down at home, you have to take the game now to Lou City somehow.
Perez had space to work with here. He's waiting for more white and purple shirts to join him in the attack for Lou City. Evan Davila for Adams. Amadou Dia. Toch from Jones. Perez. He's dispossessed by Bacharach. Rodriguez. Mabika surveying the scene here. And the ball through does find Harivo somehow. Sanchez on the far side. Cross takes a deflection and it will go out for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner for Rhode Island.
See the frustration on J.J. Williams there. He had his head in his hands there for a good 5 or 6 seconds. I think he found himself free in the box and was just waiting for that ball to be whipped onto his head.
Here comes a double switch here for Rhode Island. Mark Ibarra and Amos Shapiro-Thompson are going to make way. Noah Fuson, who was the Golden Playmaker of the Year last year in the USL Championship, and Dwayne Atkinson are both going to come in.
That's 2 attacking players, so 1 attacking and 1 mid. So clearly they're taking it up a level now, Rhode Island, which makes sense. It doesn't matter if you lose 1-0 or 2-0. You know, it's worth at this stage taking the risk. And without Philip Goodrum, I haven't seen much from Adrian Perez that would scare me in terms of pace. So maybe Connor Smith thinks it's a risk worth taking right now.
Maxi Rodriguez to deliver the corner. It's in the path of Bacharach, who gets his head onto it, and then it's cushioned away by Taylor Davila. Only as far as Holstead. This is Atkinson. Pushing a chase towards the byline. Atkinson across, and it's easily dealt with by Taylor Davila, who emerges for Louisville.
So much pace there, Atkinson. He could afford just to slow down at the end and just make sure his cross was a good one. But coming on with fresh legs, that's going to give impetus for Rhode Island and, of course, cause Lou City a few problems there in transition. They have to keep an eye out for the pace of Atkinson.
Scored the winner against Birmingham in the quarterfinals of the Jägermeister Cup, his first Rhode Island goal since making the move from Cavalier FC in Jamaica. Toch. Louisville in possession here. This is Niall McCabe, who puts in a really good ball. Perez couldn't quite get it. Perez a second time. Dia. And it's going to be a handball against Louisville. It's a Rhode Island free kick as Dia was winding up for the rebound.
Wow, they were just waiting for that ball to fall for them properly. Lou City, a good ball into a danger area. And just there, Adrian Perez gets it, but he just can't quite make a good connection. Sort of comes off his chest, and then the referee, not sure what he blew for, whether it was pushing and shoving. All right, here comes some changes.
Ray Serrano and Brian Ownby are going to come on for Louisville. Evan Davila is going to come out.
And a nice touch there. Kyle Adams taking the captain's armband and giving it immediately to Brian Ownby.
And Adrian Perez is the other player who's going to make way. So Evan Davila and Adrian Perez are out. Ray Serrano and, well, one of Lou City's many legends, Brian Ownby, is in with the captain's armband on his left arm.
Yeah, Adrian Perez, you've got to give him some understanding that it's his first game in a couple of months. He's not fully fit. Didn't really impact the game, so not a surprise to see him off. But hopefully when he does get match fit, then he can, you know, he has to get match fit one way or another. This is helping him get match fit. And when he is there, then he will be a big asset for Lou City.
Do you have a game plan to pay for college? If not, check in with RISLA, a local expert on preparing, planning, and paying for taxes. Visit RISLA.com if you want to find out more. Here is Ownby on this near side. And he thought there was going to be an advantage played here, but the referee brings this back, and I think has booked Clay Holstead. It will be a Louisville free kick.
I believe that's the first yellow of the game.
Second one, Ibarra was booked earlier and he substituted out.
Yeah, substituted out. Yep. It's been a very clean game for a game that you thought was going to get really physical at times. Neither team has had dangerous tackles or been nasty, or it's been tough, but it's also been very fair.
Serrano for Dia. Dia into the middle, deflected to the edge. It's McCabe. Was that handled? No, says the referee. Play on. McCabe's shot blocked away. Rhode Island looked to break up the other end. Williams from Atkinson. Here's Fuson on the near side. And he quickly pumps the brakes to allow Rodriguez to join in. Fuson into and out of the penalty area. Goal kick.
Yeah, not the best cross, is it? It's again to the point. It's got to be whipped in with more pace. It had so much height in it, the goalkeeper was going to win that every day. And again, JJ Williams has worked himself into a good position. They wait for him to get there, and then the final cross just not quite good enough.
Well, whether you're headed to work, school, or game day, RIPTA gets you there. With statewide service and easy trip planning, transit's never been simpler. Go to RIPTA.com to plan your ride. Just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time left. Can Rhode Island get the equalizer here? This is Dwayne Atkinson trying to thread the needle. Toch, though, takes it back off of Atkinson and out of play.
Same old story for Rhode Island. So good in build-up. Nice play, dangerous, got pace, got a good finisher, and JJ Williams gets in the box, and then there's no final goal. Well, as yet, it was late, it was around about this time that JJ Williams scored the only goal of the last match against Charleston Battery. So there could still be goals to come, but based on what we've seen so far, it's so good from Rhode Island without that finishing touch that you need in soccer if you're going to progress to the playoffs and win them.
Holstead wins the header for Rhode Island. Maxi Rodriguez just about keeps the hosts in possession here. This is Fuson, back for Rodriguez, it's just out of his reach. Ownby is fouled, free kick.
You don't want to see Brian Ownby go down. He's had so many injury problems in recent years. We're just hoping that he was going to be injury-free heading into the playoffs. Does he get caught on his ankle just a little bit?
And I believe Karifa Yao is going to be booked for this. Referee has just shown him a yellow card and is now going to jot it down in his book.
It wasn't a nasty tackle. He wasn't looking to do any harm, but it was a bit clumsy. But just of all the players, Brian Ownby's the one you want him to stay fit because he's been through so much. When we chatted to Danny Cruz, he's also been waiting for him to come back, and it would be a tragedy if that was an injury that took him off the pitch.
Brian Ownby along with Sean Toach and Niall McCabe, Cameron Lancaster. I mean, these are the guys that have been with Lou City for so long. Brian Ownby joined Louisville back in 2017 after a stint with the Richmond Kickers. And since then, he's written himself very much into Louisville City folklore. As you see there, the yellow card confirmed for Rhode Island's Karifa Yao. Once upon a time, Brian Ownby was also a Houston Dynamo player in MLS back in 2012. Well, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Louisville in possession on this far side. Did that go over the sideline? Yes, it did. And it will be a Rhode Island throw. It is the 90th minute between Charleston and Indy. It's now 2-1. Indy did get a goal back. So at the moment, the two main contenders for the Players' Shield are potentially on the verge of adding 3 more points to their respective tallies.
They will still remain 4 points apart, though. In fact, everyone stays the same distance apart they were coming into the night.
Yeah.
If these results hold, it's a big if. Rhode Island and Indy neck and neck. Problem is, if you both drop points and those around you start picking them up, then it becomes a problem. And now Tampa Bay have been losing, so that is probably, again, good news for Rhode Island. Miami, let's see what they've been doing, but they're down 1-0 at home. So it's all good news. If this result holds, it'll be a bad result, but good in that nobody else around them currently is winning.
Harivo for Williams. And J.J. Williams kind of scuffed the shot in the end, and Fondes collects it even though it was going wide. Ownby trying to break through down this near side. Flag is up. It goes back to Rhode Island, who are preparing more alterations here. We'll get to that in a moment. Holstead approaching the final 15 minutes of normal time. This is Atkinson. And again, Mabika miscontrolled it, but has Fuson to his right. Bacharach. Again, trying to find Atkinson. Holstead couldn't hang on to it. Yao feeding Fuson on this near side. This is where Noah Fuson can be very dangerous. And he whips in a decent cross. Jones gets it cleared. Ownby holds it up. And Ownby is fouled. Free kick, Lou City.
Frustrating for the fans. That ball in wasn't a bad one, but it still didn't have enough height for JJ to be able to go to attack it. And then they try and hold and win the ball outside the box and can't, but some important substitutes being made right now.
Another double change here. Grant Stoneman and Joe Brito are both coming in. Zach Harivo and Karifa Yao are both going to make way here for Rhode Island, and that is a good sign to see Grant Stoneman getting closer and closer to full fitness. He's been dealing with a bit of an injury bug himself after what was a fantastic start to the season for him defensively. So Cano Smith gets a bit of that defensive depth back with Grant Stoneman back in the fold. As Ownby tries to win the header, and the referee points, I think, for a Rhode Island free kick. At the very least, he stops the play for a possible head injury to Mabika. And now Mabika's waving everybody else away here. But he will have to step off. Mabika looks to be okay, as we tell you that the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings as Mabika rejoins us. This is Stoneman. Rodriguez out to the far side. Atkinson. Lovely skill to get past Toch on the far side. Feeds it for Sanchez. Sanchez plays it back. It's clipped into the middle. Fuson was arriving, touched away. Holstead, and then Williams blocked away. Holstead keeps it going. Sanchez for Rodriguez, blocked away again. Holstead recovers. Another Rhode Island flurry here. Sanchez on the back heel, cannot find Atkinson. Rhode Island want a free kick. They'll settle for a throw-in on the far side after another close call. Rhode Island still with the ball here. Stoneman. Mabika. Holstead trying to keep it with Rhode Island, but McCabe emerges. Davila up ahead, could not pick out Serrano. Stoneman again for Rhode Island. A switch for Stoneman on this near side. I'll try to flip it out to that far side of the pitch. Sanchez was the target. And it goes out for a Lou City throw. Another really strong attacking sequence there from Rhode Island, and the ball pinballed around the box, but again, Louisville are able to get it clear. Here comes Rhode Island again. Fuson.
Those white shirts deep in that low block behind the ball make it so difficult to get through. And especially if you're missing sort of natural goal scorers, what can they do, Rhode Island?
Bacharach nearly on the end of it there. Stoneman to reset. 10 minutes of normal time left. Holstead pings one out to that far side. Wonderful control from Atkinson. Rodriguez played in. Brito, nowhere to go. Stoneman. Back from Mabika. Rodriguez just kind of fluttered at it. Gives the ball away to McCabe. And then Louisville do the same thing. Cheap giveaway. And Rhode Island are back on it. And then as soon as I say that, Stoneman is not able to find Fuson. And both teams are going to make some changes here, including a debut. Fayu Ndongo, Cameroonian international, 18 years old, is going to make his Rhode Island debut here, replacing Clay Holstead. And speaking of young players, Brandon Days, he's also going to enter here for Louisville. And he replaces Niall McCabe.
But if you want to be a hero, you come on as a young sub. And for Ndongo, this could be the moment to try and at least get a draw out of this match, if not more. He's 18 years of age, as you mentioned. Been playing in the Bahrainian Premier League. Not quite sure what sort of standard that is, but certainly some experience.
And not to be outdone, Brandon Days, just 16 years old, is making his 4th league appearance this season for Louisville. By the way, not to make Niall McCabe feel too old, but a 16-year-old on for a 34-year-old, that's...
He's more than double his age.
You took the words out of my mouth there, Gary.
I wasn't quite sure of your math abilities.
Certainly not here because of that, that's for sure. Well, what's the old saying, right? As long as you're old enough, you're good enough.
This is what they say. He struggled in the last match, though, Brandon Days. But again, at 16, you expect that. Came off at half-time against Indy 11, and the team went on to come back from 1-0 down to win it 3-1. But it's experience, and you get that experience, you start to grow and get confidence, and you know, we hope to see that by 17, 18, he really does start to make an impact, a big impact when he comes on.
Still Fuson here for Rhode Island. Rodriguez tried to pin one in there. Fondez again is able to get there, and you saw J.J. Williams again react. That felt like another opportunity that goes by the wayside here.
Now, I'm sure that Connor Smith has said, get your head up, find JJ, and pick him out. And there's been very little of those balls that have actually reached him, and he's been in good positions. Now, sometimes it's been because the defenders have restricted it, but others just poor crosses coming in from Rhode Island wide players.
Taylor Davila here from Ownby. Amadou Dia. Again, Davila pressured by Fuson. Dia's touch allows him to just about stay on it here. Back for Jones. And as Jones clips it, the referee's going to stop the play here as our goal scorer, Aiden McFadden, is down and in a bit of discomfort for Louisville.
Cruz just giving them the information they need just to close this out. And this is, again, good playoff games for both sides. Lou City might come up against Rhode Island again, and if they're 1-0 up, how do you see it to the end and get through the next round? Rhode Island, assuming they make the playoffs, which is step number 1, and they might come up against a team like Lou City or Charleston Battery and say, okay, we're 1-0 down. How do we come back in the match? We can't allow them to score a second. So it's everything is A, getting into the playoffs, and then B, how do you cope with these situations once you're in the playoffs? And that's just where players learn. They learn to work together. New players come in. You need to show them how you do it and what you do. So that young kid will be hoping that Rhode Island can pull one back in these last 5 minutes or so.
I want to know the secret to businesses that last. It's your people. Tap into your people power with Insperity, the trailblazers in human resources, because how you HR matters. McFadden appears to be okay, at least for now. Although as soon as I say that, we're being told that McFadden is coming off, and there's the confirmation of that, so maybe not good enough to continue. And of course, man, that doesn't really need much of an introduction. Cameron Lancaster is in for Louisville City.
Well, you're talking about legends of the game, and along with Niall McCabe and some of the others that have been around, Brian Ownby, he is right up there as Cam Lancaster. Has he got one or two little cameo appearances left in those legs before the end of the season? And just, I mean, this is his third spell with the clubs. He's already a legend. But wouldn't it be wonderful to tap it off with a playoff winning goal or a championship winning goal? And he's very capable of those sort of things.
Not to put words into the Lou City hierarchy's mouths there, but they might build a statue for him if he does that. My goodness. That's out for a Louisville throw. It's where Lou City want the ball right now. Final few moments of normal time. Louisville holding on to a lead. Again, if it holds, Lou City would guarantee at least a top 4 finish in the East. And they would, again, continue to hold on to their lead over Charleston in the Players' Shield race, and would certainly be a tough blow for Rhode Island's potential playoff chase as Louisville get a corner here. That Charleston game, by the way, has gone final. The Battery hold on for a 2-1 win, which does help Rhode Island out. It does put a little bit on Louisville here, pressure-wise, to see out these last few minutes. Looking for the perfect venue to host your group event? Look no further than Centerville Bank Stadium. It's offering a variety of unique spaces to help elevate your experience. Here's Ownby for Louisville. Touched away from him by J.J. Williams. Rodriguez picks out Joe Brito. Up ahead for Dwayne Atkinson. Shoveled ahead and then nudged forward by Adams, and then Ownby down the line. And Rhode Island will recycle it.
You just feel Rhode Island are close, but they can't get this goal-scoring thing together. Just 2 goals scored in the last 4 matches. And they look very competent, very together, well-organized, hard to break down. I mean, it's been a wonderful McFadden goal. Galasso scored from the touchline, and that's the goal as the yellow card is given.
Poor challenge there. J.J. Williams on Brian Ownby, and the referee didn't hesitate to book Rhode Island's number 9.
That's just more frustration. He's just trying to win the ball, realizes straight away. But last 9 league games, just 2 wins for Rhode Island. So the numbers are not in their favor, and they need to turn the numbers around, clearly. It's an obvious statement, but they've got to find some way of getting him more ball, and if not, pushing somebody up who can score goals with him. Could Noah Fuson play alongside him up front as opposed to wide? Is that an option? I'm sure Connor Smith has thought of that and everything else along with his coaching staff, but he's got to try something. Maybe this young lad, Mathieu Ndonga, is the one they're hoping could provide a little bit of spark up front.
Coming close to second half stoppage time here. This is Stoneman. Fuson to the byline. Fuson didn't quite take the ball with him, and he was also the last to touch it. And it is going to be a goal kick for Louisville. There was a brief moment there of hesitation from Noah Fuson on this near side, going up against a tough defender, and Dia just lost track of the ball at the vital moment, and Diaz fired up as he was able to fend Fuson off. And we enter 7 added minutes at the end here. Still plenty of time.
presented by Automated Business Solutions.
Ooh, a tackle moment there away from the play. Lancaster and Bacharach getting tangled up, and Hugo Bacharach has seen yellow here. It's just away from the play as Ownby goes away, and well, Bacharach holds on to Lancaster and just throws him to the ground. No questions about that. Lancaster played his part, but Bacharach clearly initiates the contact there. But still gives his 2 cents anyway. Rodriguez. Williams up ahead. Ndongo tried to thread the needle for Atkinson. It was never going to get there. And Fondez clears for Louisville. Kept in play by Ownby, but Fuson is the first to react. And then cannot keep it in play on this near side. And Louisville get the possession back. Two more finals from other games going on involving Eastern Conference teams. That's a big loss for the Rowdies. They lose 2-0 to Sac Republic. And Hartford wins at Miami by a 0-0. Those are big, big wins for Sacramento in the West, Hartford in the East, and big setbacks for the two Floridian sides in that Eastern Conference playoff chase. Slight favors there for Rhode Island and Indy, it must be said. There's still time, of course, for Rhode Island to salvage something here at the end. Stoneman. Noah Fuson. Sending the ball in, it comes up short. Again, Louisville have it covered. Fuson again. Trying to thread the needle. There's not a lot of space to operate with. Dia hits it off of Fuson, and it's another Lou City throw with just over 4 minutes at a minimum of stoppage time left. Amadou Dia to put the ball back into play. Stoneman wins the header. It was flicked on by Brito. Headed forward here for Jansen Wilson. Lou City bringing players forward. On this far side, it is Brandon Days into that corner. And that'll do just fine indeed for Louisville. They can take more time off the clock. Remember, coming into this season, Louisville had never beaten Rhode Island, playoffs or regular season. If this score holds, Louisville will do the regular season double over Rhode Island. And who knows? I mentioned it earlier that these two teams very possibly could meet in the playoffs if things work out in a certain way. But we're still a long way to go for that. Lancaster in the corner. Wins a corner for Louisville, although Rhode Island are a bit perplexed by that decision. Lou City again can take a step closer to 3 points. Lancaster loses out to Dwayne Atkinson, who gets it out of that corner for Rhode Island. And then Ndongo could not get there. Dia followed up on it, and the ball's gonna roll out of play, but it is a Rhode Island throw. Ndongo will leave it for Stoneman. 2 minutes left for Rhode Island to make something happen here at the end. Being urged on by the supporters here in the rain. Vegas up ahead here. Jones with the header. Serrano is fouled by Bacharach, who of course has to be careful on that yellow. And again, Louisville deals with the situation defensively. Two hands on the back of Serrano, slight extension. Referee really has no choice there but to blow the whistle. One of the things that Danny Cruz talked to us about earlier this week, as far as Louisville's keys to winning the game, he said it's going to be a physical battle. Rhode Island in transition are a difficult team to deal with. And he said on set pieces, they can provide quite a threat. Louisville have checked off seemingly all those boxes and have held Rhode Island in check so far. But at the end here, there could be a chance. Oh, Ndongo! Hands on heads. It fell for him. He did not react quickly enough. And then a foul and a free kick. Lancaster and Louisville can use more of the clock up here. Another chance that Rhode Island cannot capitalize on. And then Stoneman here tangled up with Lancaster, and Louisville get the decision. Final seconds here now in Pawtucket. This was the chance. Ndongo in the middle. You see there, he just couldn't get the ball under his spell. Adams sends it ahead for Louisville. Ownby looking for Lancaster. Can Rhode Island get the ball back here? Rhode Island have it with Vegas. Referee checks the watch. Vegas sends it forward, and it is full time. Lou City hold on and win it by a 0-0 here in Rhode Island. And their push for the Players' Shield takes another step in the right direction. It's Louisville's 16th win of the season. They're up to 54 points. They match Charleston's win from earlier and keep that points gap for the #1 overall seed in the playoffs, and Louisville clinch at least a top 4 finish in the Eastern Conference with a hard-fought win, and Louisville do the double over Rhode Island in the regular season of the USL Championship. Remarkably, it's Rhode Island's 5th loss at home. It's Louisville's 8th road win, and it's a hammer blow for Rhode Island's playoff hopes as we get closer and closer to the run-in in the Eastern Conference playoff chase. Such a well-played game, really, from both teams. It was a bit of a moment of magic from Aiden McFadden that separates the sides. It was that physical battle that we expected after that, and Louisville hang on to get all 3 points in Pawtucket. We'll take a quick break, and we will wrap it all up next here in Rhode Island.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
post-game is brought to you by High Bar Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy partner of RIFC. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. Tough one to take for Rhode Island. Louisville hangs on to all 3 points and gets their 8th road win of the season. As we look back through the full-time highlights, this ended up being the moment of the game. Aiden McFadden's 4th league goal of the season. What a goal, what a strike from Aiden McFadden. That gave Louisville the lead, and they never really looked back after that. That was in the 18th minute to give Lou City the advantage. Then a couple of moments later, our save of the game, which is brought to you by Centerville Bank. Make progress towards your goals with Centerville Bank, the official partner of RIFC. Koke Vegas, we talked about it earlier, has been so good since coming back off the injury. And with the rain coming down as well, made a big stop there to keep it at 1-0. Then in the 30th minute, this might have been Rhode Island's best chance of the game. Energy play of the game, presented by Rhode Island Energy. A really good run from Holstead, a lovely layoff, and then Altair Sanchez with the rain and the slippery surface could not strike it cleanly. And again, Rhode Island's chance goes begging there. And after that, in the second half, teams traded blows, but Louisville hangs on. Both teams did not get a shot on target in that second half. Both those shots on target are from the first half, and despite some positive attacking play from Rhode Island, again, the lack of a clinical finish lets them down. And Louisville, as they've done for a vast majority of the season, particularly when they get a lead, they manage the game really, really well down the stretch. Particularly those last 15 to 20 minutes, they kept the Rhode Island big chances at a minimum. And Louisville, in their first ever trip to Centerville Bank Stadium, are able to find a way to win. And again, they clinch a top 4 seed overall, and they get closer to potentially lifting another Players' Shield trophy at the end of what has been a marvelous season for the boys in purple. Tough blow for Rhode Island. They're going to have to get back up off the canvas for the run-in here at the end of this USL Championship season. Louisville just keep on trucking in the right direction. They pick up another valuable road 3 points here in Pawtucket. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from Rhode Island. Lou City win it by an Aiden McFadden goal-to-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.